Alex Karp just gave the most brutally honest speech of the year and explained why him being crazy was the only way to build what he's built.
One of the biggest problems, if you get to, okay, let's just take, what is the biggest problem in this culture? I'll tell you the biggest problem. No one believes the institutions are credible. And why don't they believe they're, and I struggle to believe they're credible too, because these business leaders make completely stupid decisions and they get bailed out. A year later, they're getting huge bonuses. And what do the American people get? Nothing. And that's a huge problem. Like if you make, so I think the real version is like, I made a lot of decisions when we began talking, annoying each other 10 years ago. Hopefully I'm annoying you as much as 10 years ago, or more. When I made you know this, yep. Every decision Palantir made, FDEs, going public, building products, enterprise, large data sets, going to government, acknowledging American superiority, being pro-meritocracy, launching an AI platform, calling into question that AI models would actually be able to perform without orchestration. Every single one, our ontology, every single one of those was viewed as stupid. You know what I actually have grown to appreciate about capitalism? All the people who made the right decisions went broke, are going out of business, or now have to copy us. Microsoft launched ontology. Everyone wants to do FDEs. Everyone basically copies me and Palantir. That's what I love about this country. If you want to make your stupid decisions and then you go to the White House and ask for money, you should absorb the full risk of that. And I'll tell you the full risk of that. Somehow your salary should be capped to the point where you make a lot of money for the American people. If I was absorbing the full risk of our stupidity, you were absorbing the full risk of my stupidity by putting me on there and knowing all the crazy shit I was going to say. And you were going to have to sit there and listen to it. And you did it. And again, yes, and we're both absorbing the full risk of each other's splendor. At the moment where I am wrong, I have to pay the price for it. Just like, you're at the top of your game. Whether we want it or not, you're at the top of your game. Everybody wants to talk to you. Okay, sometimes that's annoying. Okay. It's like I was talking to you when, there were other people above you. Now I'm talking to you when no one's above you. Okay. Now, yeah, it's true. And people think I'm moderately successful now. Okay. So we at Palantir absorb the full risk of our failure, and everyone else should too. And, the critique I get in Wall Street is I'm an arrogant prick. Okay, great. Well, judge me by the accomplishment, the delta between what I've done and my arrogance. That's the definition of arrogance. If you're right a lot, maybe exerting that you're going to be right tomorrow is pretty important. And when we're not right, I pay the price every day. That's why we have this incredibly painful internal structure of flatness. So I can hear how wrong I am all day. And we absorb the risk of that. And I think in this culture, not enough people, again, the only people who pay the price for being wrong in this culture in complete fashion are poor people. The rest of us somehow outsource all the times we're wrong and stupid to the whole society. But if you're poor and you're a soldier, or you're poor in the ghetto, when you're wrong, you go to prison or you die.
I got a different question.
No one cares.
I got a different question for you.
And again, look left and right. The one thing I would say to people in the audience, a lot of you think I'm right. And your spouse, your relative, your child, the person at work would be horrified if they knew it. You better speak up, because everyone who thinks I'm a ridiculous fascist, they're speaking up. They write about it every day. If you do not speak up, the people who are disagreeing with me or think I'm stupid, I disagree with myself. So you have to speak up. And you cannot blame the far left, far right idiots when they speak up for their views. Do you speak up for your views? Where? Do you tell your colleague? I bet you at the New York Times, a lot of people read that article about us and were ashamed. Did you go to your editor and say, how can you write something that's technically illiterate? The guy might be a fascist, but this is technically illiterate.
Okay, let me ask you a different question.
Did you or didn't you? Because if I'm the only one speaking up, you're going to get a world of technical illiteracy on the right, on the left, and in the middle.
Alex Karp's refusal to act like a normal, polite CEO is not a personality flaw, it's the exact reason Palantir survived when other startups died. Dr. Karp lists the decisions that made everyone hate him: working with the military, ignoring Wall Street, and refusing to hire based on trends. He points out that while he was called stupid for 10 years, competitors in 2025 like Microsoft are now trying to copy everything Palantir built. In Silicon Valley, there is a powerful pressure to fit in. If you are a normal CEO, you go to the same parties, hire the same consultants, and use the same polite language as everyone else to keep your stock price safe. Mr. Karp did the exact opposite. He acted like a philosopher king who didn't care if he was liked. He realized early on that if he listened to the smart people in New York or San Francisco, Palantir would have turned into just another advertising company. Instead, he built software for war and heavy industry, forcing his company to live in the harsh reality of the battlefield rather than the easy fantasy of the internet. And his arrogance acts as a defensive shield for his engineers. By being the loud, controversial figure on stage, he absorbs all the attacks from the media and the market. This allows his team to focus purely on building the product without worrying about public opinion. Most CEOs try to be diplomatic to avoid trouble. Karp invites trouble because he knows that being correlated, doing what everyone else does, guarantees you'll fail when the market crashes. He creates a culture where being right is more important than being polite. His success proves that in a crisis, you don't want a leader who is nice, you want a leader who is effective. But Alex doesn't just think leaders should be tough, he thinks they should be punished when they fail, which brings us to his most important point. It's time to end the golden parachute. Alex is attacking fake capitalism in America, where rich executives get better for their mistakes while regular people face consequences. Alex contrasts the life of a soldier or a poor person who goes to prison or dies when they make a mistake, with business leaders who destroy companies and still get huge bonuses. Alex Karp enforces a flat structure at Palantir, specifically so people can tell him if he is wrong, ensuring he absorbs the risk of his own decisions. Economists call this problem moral hazard. Imagine you go to a casino, but you are gambling with someone else's money. If you win, you keep the cash. If you lose, the government pays the debt. You would bet recklessly because you have no skin in the game. Alex is arguing that most modern CEOs are playing with other people's money. When they crash a bank or ruin a tech company, they still walk away with a golden parachute, millions of dollars of severance pay. They outsource the pain of their failure to their employees, shareholders, or the taxpayer. Alex believes this lack of consequences creates weak leaders. If you are never punished for being stupid, you will never learn to be smart. Alex is demanding a return to a harsher, fairer system where success brings wealth, but failure brings ruin. Alex applies this to himself by inviting his own employees to question him daily. He knows that if he surrounds himself with yes men who are afraid to criticize him, he will lose touch with reality. True leadership requires carrying the weight of the risk yourself. He's telling the audience that if they want a better country, they need to stop respecting leaders who hide from the consequences of their own bad decisions. If you've been meaning to get a proper understanding of AI, I built a course that teaches everything from first principles to some of the more advanced ideas like compute and physical AI in a simple, approachable way. When you join, you get lifetime access and the price goes up each time we add new modules. So if you want in at the lowest price, now is that moment.